Record. And I'm going to stop the share there. And we'll get the gallery view, which I like. I like the gallery view. And we are recording. So you've had a chance to take a look at Screen 360 TV, Anthony?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit? Okay. Did you tell us how you might use it as a writer, with a filmmaker? We're going to say that you're extending your work if your script gets made into a film. How you might use Screen 360 TV as a content creator.
Oh, okay. Well, if or when it gets made.
Helps to think about these things.
Yeah, I see it as a wonderful source, especially for short film, especially when you have one idea that you want to bring across to a group of people, a group of children or teens or whoever your audience is. I think short film will be a great way to help develop that idea and to make it clear rather than some other ways of explanation.
Okay. Are you thinking of it as a way to test your story, or would you? Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm a little the questioning and having this. I'm a little blindsided by the format we have here, so I'm kind of just trying to sort of jump in on what's going on. So I'm curious what Dee Dee's interest in is listening to me about it. What's her interest in listening to me?
Right. Well, I think, the interest is what do you think that, how would 360 TV work for you as a writer? What could we do for you, or what could you tap into that would help you? I guess, is like the connecting piece, the fit.
I think basically, as I've watched a few of the films there, and I look forward to seeing more, it gets me to understand cultures on another level that I would not have direct experience with. That said, it's a matter of getting to have that experience, is to be able to access emotions that I may not otherwise have without Screen 360. So the idea that I've mentioned to Katie before about empathy and seeing other cultures and with whatever they deal with allows people to have empathy that they normally would not have. I would like to see that in film more. I would like to have a breadth, not necessarily of other cultures, which I love, but other understanding of emotion and what other people are going through. And film is a way to connect people in a way that I don't think you can by explanation. People don't have the ability to have these kind of experiences, so they have them watching a film. They have them being immersed in someone else's life. And I think that's a way to really take on those experiences and feeling emotion. So
that's great. And so then, do you use film as research for what you're writing? Direct research, or maybe indirect research?
Well, if we get off of Screen 360 a minute and just talk about film, no, I don't. I find most film kind of duplicates itself a lot, and it doesn't go quite as, you're going as deep as the writer or director can go in their psychological and emotional development. So it's at least an American film in a lot of ways. And I'm thinking having access to foreign films gives me a deeper sense of what human potential could be psychologically and emotionally. So do I do research by watching films? Some, yeah. I do my research in the world and my own psychological excavation with my own practice psychologically, and I like to bring that to film. Film has also brought some of that to me, but I'm not looking to film for that right now, but I'm open to it, and I hope it's there.
Thank you. That's very nice. If there was let's talk about the audience, the young audience that Screen 360 TV provides. Is that an audience that you would write for?
Yeah, I could see that happening. The more that I learn about what children and teens would like, I would like to write for it. I'm writing characters now that are teens that I've had to do research for, because I have to understand how they hear things. They're not going to hear things the way I would necessarily say them. I want to understand how they hear things. So I would like to reach that. I think every time I think about Screen 360's audience, I really do think of it as through their parents first. You know, I really do. I mean, how many kids of a certain age are really going to find Screen 360 without their parents or some kind of adult or a teacher guiding them there?
That's
They're
right.
not going to gravitate toward that. You know what I mean?
That's
So
right.
it has to be an introduction in a way. So I think it has to speak to the parent or whoever the educator is, the adult, to speak to the children. I think the adult has to get something out of it and then be excited to bring that to the child. That's how I see it.
Yeah, wow, that's nice too. My sister said something similarly yesterday, right, Dee Dee? She spoke about
Yes, absolutely.
it.
Oh yeah,
In
absolutely.
order for her 15-year-old son to watch this film or to engage with it at all, the teacher had to offer it. If it had come from the parent, then he might have said, no, no, but the teacher sanctioned it. And so that
That's
was a little more power.
Mhm.
Also, it may not be a bad idea. Some of these films, especially for an American audience, if you are having more non-American films, the films I know you like to put discussion after the film, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm wondering if the film needs some of them may need a little bit of a libretto before they watch.
Yes.
Because
No.
if they watch something,
Go ahead. Finish.
Mhm.
Finish your sentence.
because they may not get the concepts that are more sophisticated or come from another culture that you'd really want this child to get. I'll
Mhm.
give an example for myself. It's not a direct, well, it's a pretty direct example. Um, the film Chinatown is considered whatever, a classic, blah, 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 blah. And I've studied it in classes and all this Chinatown, film. Well, I think it's a really good movie for a lot of reasons, but I did not understand what the ending really meant until it was explained to me by a teacher.
Uh-huh.
Now I can't not think about this ending based on how it was explained to me. It was done in the subtext. It was more subtle than even subtext. And it had to be taught to me. I wouldn't know it today. If they redid Chinatown, they'd have to explain everything. Because today, everything is so explained out. I mean, they could be radio plays, practically, a lot of movies. They're so explained where there's no subtext. It's just text. So if something is deeper of a concept and you want to convey it visually, some of it may come across, but some of it may not. So I think having a libretto or something that explains it beforehand, especially something that's out of the child's realm of experience or the adult's realm of experience in this situation, would be much more helpful for them to get something out of it.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think that's been missing at a Screen 360 in my understanding.
Well, the film festival model does have, but first the program note, right, and then the introduction. And so you're going to see a film from Taiwan, and this director made this film because, or whatever I might know about the film, and then I might say it's so long, or the filmmaker is going to be with us afterwards, and so think about what you want to ask the filmmaker, and pay attention to what you're feeling at particular moments, and you can even make a note if you like. So give them some guidance for how to watch the film. If you're excited, if you're completely immersed in the film and you lose yourself, and then when the lights come on, you find out you're still in the theater, that's good. And then we would show the film.
So that brings me, I'm glad you mentioned that. That brings me to a slightly different point of what I would say about it. That's great. When you ask a child or an adult, what are they feeling? They may not know. So that is not enough of a prompt to get them to bring something that may or may not be. Where I think it's great you brought all that up. With an additional, you may have to prompt them more than that after the film. It's almost like doing therapy in a sense. Well, in a sense you are. You're doing therapy with the audience member who just saw the film. Because I'll ask somebody, what do you feel? Oh, I don't know. And then I ask a more pointed question, and then the answer will come out.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So
I think you're right.
I think
you're really, you're right, and you want to signal what that sensation it feels like. Butterflies in your stomach. What does that feel like?
a subconscious thought that needs to be brought to the surface that may
Sure.
not be there when you just ask the more abstract question.
So
Right.
connecting the visceral with the emotional.
How did an example? Well, we can come up with an example of, what did you feel? Well, I don't know. How about if somebody says, well, I don't know what I felt. Oh, I thought it was okay. I really like that. Well, what did you like? A little more prompting in an empathic way. I find maybe even prompting sometimes will scare them off, depending on how the tone is, right?
Mhm.
They're like, oh, I have a pressure to answer a question. Depends on the child or the
Sometimes,
participant.
yeah.
But it is like doing therapy. I think you have to find your way through this with different people. I think you can pull more out of the audience and more out of their experience with the right questioning with the right person.
Right. Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. Because
Sure.
I think that you could ask, can you think of a time where you had the same kind of feeling and what was going on then?
Right. Yeah.
That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe to make a connection of some sort to elicit that emotion, identify it.
Yeah, pay attention to your feelings, and to make it easy for them. If you feel sad, maybe I'd have to develop that, Dee Dee, and I have not before. But if the film makes you feel sad, make an X or an O in your notebook, and when you laugh, make an exclamation point or something like that.
Right. Something in the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They may lose it later.
Yeah, I like to write in the moment, and then we talk about those things afterwards. I ask at the end of the film, tell me what the picture in your mind is right now. And that's pretty specific. And sometimes I ask, well, what was your favorite part? And that thing that is in their mind right now, the scene that's going to last for them is in their mind. Oftentimes it's the last scene of the film, but given a moment to digest, it might be a favorite scene, depending on what the prompt is. A favorite scene, or was there something that startled you or surprised you? And asking that a little more specifically. Favorite, I got some good answers to, and then the kids seem to be either copying each other or having the same sensation, which would make sense as well. Yeah, that's nice. I like that, having some sort of task to do. I don't like that kids text when they're watching the film. I want to preserve the film experience so that they really do go through a transformation, a journey in the film. With short films, it's a short journey, so they don't need to. Just a little something that I might give them different shapes or something to put in a cup.
Here's an idea. If you had a short film, you said you can text, but only the first thing you text will be about the film, and it has to be after the film. How about that? In their behavior already, we're already so, like, films are so much faster today. I'm sorry, this comes off the top of my head. Like something like, if you watch Tootsie today, which is a 2.5-hour dramedy, it seems it takes its time. They would never make a film that slow today. It's great, but it's a different pace, as opposed to Chicago, where they had to make those two look like dancers. So they cut.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being assaulted by cuts. And now everything is that fast. So use a behavior they have, like texting, and say, okay, you can text after the short film. First text has to be about this film.
Yeah.
Seriously, use
that's
the behavior.
Nice. That's really nice. Really nice.
Because they're already there with, they can't help it. It's an addiction, for lack of a better word. It's in them.
Right.
And it could be a text to who, maybe they text it to anyone, text to their friend, text to their mother, but it needs to be about the film. You're right, and
then they can read it.
Then they can read it to whomever, but it could be read to a friend or to a parent, but it is about the film. That's really nice, Anne. I like that.
Or to you, or to whoever the facilitator is.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's more direct, but they might think, well, they're more concerned about how they say it. So send it to your best friend or your mom. Choose that person. Yeah, that they're most comfortable with. Okay,
That
that's
could be a whole
nice. I like that
program.
a lot. And then-
Children texting and film. The only thing you'd have to add to that is children texting, vaping, and film.
ah.
Well, I'm using just marketing here. We're just marketing. This is a marketing angle. I'm trying to find a way to draw them in. And then you have a film about I would love to do a short film about vaping and get the side of it. Why not? Kids are into it.
Right.
Vaping in other cultures. Why not?
You'd have to
Yep.
trail them. Okay, so here's a valuable experience. If you were to pay for that experience, what value would you give it?
What experience? Are you just
Coming to a children's film festival and showing them your film and getting their feedback.
we're in this COVID thing now, so everything is online.
Right.
So what are you referring to, online or in person when that changes? That's very different.
Yeah, but it'd be online. It'd be
Okay,
online.
if it's online,
Through Screen 360's portal.
okay. Well, number one, I don't have an experience of how, I know Cannes did something online, Frameline just did online, film festivals. Did San Francisco Film Festival do online?
They're doing it. Yeah, still doing it.
Yeah. Did they do it in April?
Yeah. April,
They
May.
did. Okay, so it passed already.
And
Okay.
they're on holiday right now. They're back in September. Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't sure. Okay, and I know they're going to decide if they're doing Mill Valley Frameline. I think Mill Valley's trying to decide this week if they're going to do it. I think.
Okay.
Anyway, the point is, I don't know the stuff that goes on behind. I'm not sure how many people of those festivals go automatically. It seems to me, to get people to go to Screen 360, you're already removed because of the technology. It's not a well-known festival or something people are already going to
Right.
that much live at all. So it's already removed, and it's now engulfed in everything that's online now.
Yeah.
How do you make it stand out to make it attractive to go, to give it value?
That's right.
So I'm
Yep.
thinking, right? I mean, that's
Oh, I
one thing there
know.
needs
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
So-
ass marketing plan. Yeah.
So this is more that this question is different than if you asked this question a year ago or 6 months ago. It's a different question now.
Yeah.
I think it needs something else to stand out. I think it needs a personal, it has to seem more homegrown and a personal touch where you reach out to each and every person that would sign up, or you'd talk to them about it. Not unlike what I'm doing as a way to get it going. I just don't see another way for it to stand out unless it turned into some news item thing and attached to something in the news where more people would see. There's so much. I mean, I teach exercise on Zoom. There's so many people that are on Zoom all day. They won't take my class.
Yeah.
They can't be on Zoom one more hour. They can't
Right.
be on the computer one more time.
Right.
So something has to change unless the screens change and they become a wall in our house and it's not really a screen anymore. It's an immersive experience. We're on screens now. So we're in a different world now. So it was difficult before. Now it's possibly more difficult now.
Well,
I agree.
we're using the screen as the prompt also to do a project together. So if the group comes on, they see the film, they do a project together if they like.
You mean in the school environment?
In the school environment, yeah.
That I totally see it because I'm watching. I'm talking to some kids in different ages that are in school and Zoom. They're having very different online experiences. Some of the teachers there a lot. Some of the teachers just checking in with them for 15 minutes, depending on the grade of the school. It's very different. Some are sleeping in till 9 or 10.
Yeah, right.
It's a very different thing. I would think that you'd want this to be the thing they look forward to. When I was a kid and we had to watch a film, it was rare in school, and I really looked forward to it. I think I saw A Man for All Seasons when I was in 10th grade. And that was a huge deal. Like, oh my God, we're gonna watch a film. I'm so happy. I don't have to do schoolwork. Okay, that was like, I want that be this part of a curriculum that they look forward to it. It's like, it's a little bit like if you show up to class here and here, we'll show you a film later. And then it has to be, I don't know if that language works for them. It worked for me.
Yeah.
30 years ago. But what would work today? But what would work today to make this film an educational thing, but something they look forward to because they're burned out. They're not paying attention. How does it not blend in with everything else they're doing online?
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. This is very, very true. But you know what I believe it is, that thing that they do, that connection, if they recognize that they're being ambassadors, number two, that they are putting on a layer of international knowledge and getting to know people with whom they are stewarding the world. They're going to steward the world. I think the Fridays for the Future really showed us how much these kids care, how much they are aware, and how much they want to do and make sure that there is a future there for them.
You made a point. I like that, especially now because now
Responsibility.
this younger generation has to take care of what everybody else we all fucked up or something, right?
Right.
Because that's in the air a lot now, right? Excuse my language, but if you can tap into that and they can see film as a conduit to learn about other, I think that could really work. I think you really have to make a connection and really talk to these kids. And I don't know. I think for school it would be great as sort of a fun thing to do that they look forward to.
Or and meet someone and make a recommendation to someone else to see a film. I mean, they can pick something on. There can be some fun randomness in it. There's a globe on the page, and once that becomes populated, you can just pick a place in the world and find out about it. Call them up and watch a film together. I mean, that's the way I imagine it in the future. And see if it would maybe be a drop down if the time is right. Here's somebody who's ready to watch a film with you. See if maybe there's a little beacon on the computer that says beep beep beep, somebody wants to watch a film with you. That happens.
Yeah, it's like it's a way to not be alone.
Yeah, right.
To see that. I mean, that's the whole idea behind Facebook. Maybe that's a separate issue. But I mean, not that I would model that, but I think I love the idea of seeing a film with somebody who you don't know. It's almost like instead of playing World of Warcraft with God knows people you don't even know.
There,
you know,
you hit it on the head.
You're watching a film, they could watch the film and chat about it during the film. And I know you want them to watch the experience and be immersive, but to get them to do it, I would probably be relaxed about that a little bit. It depends.
Sure.
You'd have to try it out and see.
I would tell them. I would be completely transparent. I don't want to fool them, and say, listen, here's what happens when you text while you're watching a film. You get an interrupted experience. Here's what happens when you put it down. Okay. You're completely transported.
The problem with that explanation is it may not, I love it for me, but I don't think it's enough explanation for a kid. I think it's for me. It's like, how do you make the kid feel what you feel about what you just said? It's a great, you know what I'm saying? I love what you said about being transported. How would a kid go, oh my God, I'm putting down the phone? What words would get them to do it? That's the whole point of this, right?
I mean, travel. How valuable is travel?
Shame. I think shame is the first place to go. Just shame and then putting it down when nothing else works.
Put it down, Ken. You're not going to be educated, right? No, we're not doing it.
Shame, embarrassment, and guilt are viable feelings. Okay.
All right, I have another question for you. Let me look at it. Let me see. So the other one question was, if you present your film, how valuable would that be? Would that be a $50 experience for you? Would you submit your film for $35? Or submit your...
You mean if I had a film done and I would submit it?
Yeah.
I don't think $35?
It used to be like that. I don't think it is anymore, actually. I think Film Freeway is absolutely free. Okay, throw out that question. If your film was presented, or if you had a script presented and it was going to be read to the kids, so it would be presented, what would you want for that?
So this is a separate thing. This is kids reading the script.
No, somebody reading the script to the kids. So you have an audience, and you're reading it to them. I mean, if it would be a film, if your script is made to a film. Let's stick with that.
So they're watching a film.
They're watching
What
a
do you think?
film, but I've invited it. You see, I've invited it, and you're coming. You're a guest of the festival. What would you want? An honorarium?
Yeah.
Other?
I honestly don't know. I'd have to think about it. I don't want to come up with a really quick question. I've not really thought about it before in this format.
I can ask.
I just
Dee Dee, in your film festival, do you give the filmmakers an honoraria?
That's a really good question. I have no idea if they do or don't. Actually, it's not my field, So I don't know. I know that they pay to submit, but all the films do come in through Film Freeway. So I don't know. Maybe they come in another way also, but I don't know. Actually, they get accepted. They come. The filmmakers come, etc. I don't know about honorarium. I think that in some cases we offer to pay their way here to come to the festival.
I can see that.
House them, in the neighborhoods, etc. I don't know. Good question.
Yeah.
I always films as a way to, I think a film festival or whatever you want to call this setup is just, as a way to promote the film.
It's post-production.
Right.
Post-production.
I think it's a way to promote the film. I never thought about what to get paid from it. I always think about, right now I'm writing TV, which is different. But film, I don't know. Do films get paid taking a film to Mill Valley Film Festival?
They don't pay them. They put them up, feed them, and but you know what? In Berlin, that was serving on the jury. They gave me a per diem. It was great. They really took after me. Yeah, they paid my flight, hotel, and per diem. I mean, you work as a judge. You work.
I would think that the experience would have to be a little bit more. And I think if you would, I think you'd have to get something. There have to be more to the interaction between filmmaker and the portal or whatever, Screen 360. Or maybe if there was more interaction and the filmmaker did more to present his film and to talk, then I guess there's some kind of a fee attached to that as well. It seems like this is an experience that would be more than just a film festival. The filmmaker can have ideas to do a lot of other things as well.
Sure. They could use the opportunity however they like. And so they would come on a screen like this, present to the audience, and then be there for the Q&A. Maybe they want to hold a panel discussion, and we invite other guests for it, and it's more of a show. It was suggested to us that we do something like a TED Talk and present the filmmaker and their film and the discussion with them afterwards, which is basically what we had planned all along, that there would be a Screen 360 TV in-studio show, and then we would bring in other remote audiences. So that's a nice idea.
I have a question.
Yes,
I have a question. So we spoke to someone earlier today. We interviewed someone earlier today who said that television was the future. Television was the way to go to connect people. And so my question is, what do you think, film or television? What do you think is the answer?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Yep. Since you work in television, write for television also.
Yeah. Film has to reinvent itself. It just feels really old hat in some ways. I hate to say it. I'm not gravitating to watching films anymore.
Too long? What is it?
It's just the format. Well, it's too long and too short all at the same time. I'm used to now being immersed in the 100-episode series where you can develop characters. You
Yeah.
have room where you have instead of a 3-act structure, was it Breaking Bad was 5 years? They broke down the 3-act movie structure into the first season was act 1 and 2. Second seasons were 2 or 3. They literally were separate acts. They were just 25 episodes. They were 25 hours for each act. That's what people are getting used to.
Almost
Mhm.
real time. Isn't that fascinating?
Well,
It's true.
it's just it's different. You can develop for a film to really work. I mean, I love it. Robert McKee said, he said a film is to make like I'm doing a sitcom pilot, which is similar. I'm trying to incorporate all the most important things into 22 minutes that you need to know without it being belabored. And it's like, what did he say? Film shows you in 2 hours everything that you left out. Meaning, if it's a really good film, you don't need to know anything else about the characters because everything is symbolic of who they are and everything they do. That is a hard thing to write and do. It is
Yeah.
harder to do that in some ways than a TV series, in my opinion, on that skill level. And people are used to something else. They're used to regular 2.5-hour films, 2-hour films. They're going to get shorter. Films are going to get shorter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so too.
Now we don't have theaters. We don't have theaters really right now.
Right,
So
right.
TV. So I think something has to be more portable. I don't know how it. So
Quibi.
I feel
Have you watched anything on Quibi?
I haven't, but I've been meaning to. I haven't
I wonder about that.
meaning to. I'm so busy doing my own, trying to write and use that time, but I'd like to. It's been on my, I'm glad you brought it up again. And they're short forms, right?
Yeah, they're very short. I think 3 minutes and under.
YouTube and kids. How do you pull a kid into a long film after they've been watching YouTube? How do you do
Right.
that? It's
I
in their
know.
brain now. YouTube and
Mm.
Instagram and all this. Film feels, at least traditionally as we know film, feels a little old hat to me.
Well,
Mhm.
it's going to become, sort of an art relic that people
Right.
will continue to gravitate to, and like sculpture, I suppose. And
I'm not saying film is, I'm saying the length of film really, and the structure of a 3-act structure or whatever happens in a film that is more than an hour or so that doesn't have a continuing thing attached to it. That's what I mean more film. I mean and then you get like The Irishman for 3 hours. Who the hell finished that?
I haven't started it.
Really? Right. Well, I'm curious. It's because, or make it 3 episodes of something. People would do that.
Yeah.
People want to see it in episode. All I'm saying is that the idea of film, I think, is there. It probably just has to be retooled. Like instead of a 3-hour film, you have 3 episodes. It could be considered a 3-hour film,
Yeah.
but perhaps it's
Wow.
well drawn. It's 3 episodes of something or 6 episodes.
Yeah.
It's still a film, and you can actually see it all together, like The Godfather. They tried to remarket all 3 together, right? They sell it as a package, as a 9-hour experience. Why can't you do that with film enough? Maybe film would have to think of act breaks a little differently now. I mean, there's 3-act structure. There's all different structures. This is just maybe a different kind of structure. There's a way to think about it. So you could have, Katie, a traditional length film, 2 to 3, 2.5 hours, 1.5, whatever it is, but it could also be broken up if it had to be. If it had to be.
Sure.
All I'm saying is to try to get the people to watch it. What do you do?
If we were presenting it in school, we'd have to break it up. And there's a company in Germany that does this already, Vision Kino, and they break up, make a DVD, and they give that to the high schools, and it's broken up pieces of a film and prompts, questions.
I'm going to have to go.
Very good. Good timing. Us too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hope that was helpful.
That was very helpful. Thank you. Thank you. And tell the world about Screen 360 TV.
Okay. I wouldn't mind can you put some of the Screen 360 on Quibi? Some of the films?
I'd have
Use
to.
it
I could put
marketing?
mine on them. Well, they're too long, actually. 17 minutes is too long.
It is?
I
How long
think
is
they
Quibi,
want
2 to 5?
something like that. Yeah. Trailers really is what they are. It's just a bunch of trailers. That's probably. I'm sure it's full.
It's
I don't know.
one idea.
One
It's
idea.
one idea. It has to be a teaser for the next idea. What else can you do in that time?
Sure.
Seriously, which is not bad. You just keep teasing them until they've done 10 of them in a row. Oh my God, I watched the whole movie. I'm serious, that sounds dumb, but
No, 1 minute egg. 1 minute egg was 1 minute of
Right.
the longer egg, but it was a full documentary in 1 minute. It got me. It got me into the Berlin Film Festival. My 1 minute egg.
There you go.
All right, darling. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Talk
Thank
to you
you.
soon. Talk to you next Thursday, same time
Okay.
for our.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.